Recently, many people have lost money on their Bitcoin investments. However, there were many who gained enormous financial benefits from it. Now, for today's video here at Data Dash, let's have a look at these recent events in the crypto market and find out what happened to Bitcoin and to the other cryptocurrencies. How come it soared to $20,000 before crashing so hard? Well, let's find out. But before that, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and bell button before you go any further to make sure that you're updated with our recent uploads. But if you already have, then let's begin. Now, let's go back to when Bitcoin was branded new. No one cared except for the true fans. That's why it was expanding gradually. In fact, its price never went higher than $50 in the first 5 years. Very few people were even aware of its existence, much less the technology that made it possible. But as its price rose to $100 and above, some investors took note, and those who saw its potential decided to put their money where their mouths were and buy in. The price soared as a result of this increasing demand, and by the summer of 2016, it had surpassed $500. This is when it first began to receive media attention, which ultimately led to its rise in popularity. Each day, more and more wealthy people learned of the possibility of making a fortune. As a result, they invested some money, and by January of 2017, a mere 6.5 months later, the price had quadrupled to $1,000. The news soon went global, and suddenly, everybody was talking about it. Like the internet, it had suddenly become the place to put your money. In fact, a brand new digital currency will be introduced every single day. There were already hundreds of cryptos, if not thousands, and investors threw money at them in the hopes of making a fortune, driving up the prices even more. Speculators pumped up the price of Bitcoin by purchasing big quantities in an attempt to lure more buyers. By the summer of 2017, Bitcoin had reached an all time high. Many well known people, including musicians, athletes, and those who previously had no idea what Bitcoin really was, immediately began investing in it. The massive interest caused the price to skyrocket by several $1,000s. Yet, on December 17th, it had reached a high of nearly $20,000, or specifically $19,793.06. The same thing was going on with every cryptocurrency out there, including Ether, Litecoin, and the rest. Remembering the early Bitcoin investors and those who contributed to the fake price increase is essential. They'd planned for this to happen. After experiencing substantial increases, they decided to withdraw their funds. Because of this, prices temporarily dropped, and several traders sold out of fear of further losses. The media quickly reported the declining prices of Bitcoin. Investors who had bought cryptocurrency without first gaining a thorough understanding of the industry sold in a frenzy, sending prices further lower. Bitcoin's value dropped by half in a month because of this oversupply. After investors started losing faith, the market value of a typical home has gradually dropped to the current level of about $3,600. As a direct result, FBI agents have seized millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from criminals over the years. Binance, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges, was effectively blacklisted by UK regulator Financial Conduct Authority in August 2021. After HSBC and Santander, other major financial institutions began preventing their customers from conducting transactions with Binance. The International Monetary Fund issued a warning on governments accepting cryptocurrencies as legal cash in the same month, stating that doing so posed a threat to macroeconomic stability and financial integrity. In August of 2018, a hacker stole $600 million in a cyber attack on the cryptocurrency platform Poly Network, only to return more than half of it 4 days later, claiming they did it for fun and to highlight the vulnerability in the system before others did. The Gartner hype cycle illustrates the extent to which different technologies are expected to grow in popularity each time state of the art machinery is introduced. The only people who give a hoot about it are die-hard supporters. The media, however, tends to exaggerate such stories in order to attract more readers, rapidly gaining widespread attention. Soon after, speculations about how this technology will change the world spread. A detailed breakdown of how cryptocurrency may and will eventually replace fiat currency and conventional banking. After a while, though, we realized that we were being unduly hopeful and that we still have a ways to go before we achieve that ideal future. Even if this technology has a lot of potential, many hurdles must be overcome before it can be used in the real world. The rise was rapid, and the fall was just as quick. The majority of new ideas quickly lose steam. Assuming the technology is useful, however, its acceptance will likely increase again in the future. There are still several bright moments in the system, such as in March 2021, when Morgan Stanley was the first major US bank to provide Bitcoin funds to affluent clients, albeit with a 2.5% cap on total net worth. A month later, in June 2021, Elon Musk indicated Bitcoin payments will likely be accepted again by Tesla once the company's use of renewable energy accounted for more than 50% of its total energy consumption. In addition, rumors that Amazon might start accepting Bitcoin began after the company advertised in July 2021 for a digital currency and blockchain product lead. In addition, El Salvador officially recognized Bitcoin as currency in September of last year. The implications of other articles for cryptocurrency has been less clear. The US Federal Reserve is among those institutions contemplating the introduction of a central bank digital currency. To ensure that the United States government is acting consistently in its regulation of digital assets, Vice President Joe Biden issued an executive order in March of this year. While many in the crypto community view regulations negatively, others believe that the new executive order could aid in the growth of digital assets like the CBDC by putting in place the necessary consumer safeguards. The good thing is, Bitcoin must be close by. Its spectacular rise and equally quick fall were not random, but rather a normal part of the cycle that all technologies must eventually go through. And if you considered how the internet has developed, you'll notice that it too has a similar cycle, albeit one with a far more dramatic decrease than Bitcoin's that ultimately resulted in a dot-com bubble. And on a side note, after 20 years, the internet has established itself as an integral element of modern society. And if cryptocurrencies are successful, we won't know their full potential for another decade or more. In 2021, the price increased by about 700% in a year, peaking at $69,000 in November. We were unprepared for the sudden loss of investor trust in the cryptocurrency market that appears to have led to the collapse of Bitcoin's boom. The price drop can be attributed to the widespread concern about Bitcoin's long-term viability. It dropped below $18,000 in June of 2022. Even a year after hitting a record high of $69,000 in November 2022, it was still below $20,000. Though it has recently shown signs of improvement, it remains well below its previous highs. In general, the likelihood of a crash increases when asset prices rise sharply and surge to a new high, while even a correction in which prices fall back to a more normal level is still quite likely. It would appear that this is the current state of Bitcoin. The price of one Bitcoin takes 11 years to reach $20,000. In contrast, the price of Bitcoin doubled In contrast, the price of Bitcoin doubled in just over 3 years. In contrast, the price of Bitcoin doubled in just over 3 weeks. The year 2013 was a watershed moment for those who had been investing in cryptocurrencies. From its January low of $13.14 to its December high of 1,115 from its January low of $13.40 to its December high of $1,156.10, and then down to around $760 3 days later, Bitcoin's price experienced quite a year. It's just as difficult. It's just as difficult to anticipate where it'll go from here. Doubts regarding the long-term viability of cryptocurrency stem from issues like the potential collapse of cryptocurrency exchanges, the tightening of the screws in countries like China, with widespread calls for stricter rules to protect human and environmental health, fears about the possibility of a cyber attack. The market price for them is entirely speculative. The values of cryptocurrencies are being affected by concerns that additional regulation may undermine crypto's decentralization. Bitcoin's proponents, however, keep emphasizing the cryptocurrency's redeeming features, the most prominent of which is its potential as a transformative technology that might disrupt entire industries. By bypassing traditional middlemen like banks, transactions can be made more convenient and less expensive. Global trading would be simplified by eliminating the need to worry about currency fluctuations when using a non fiat digital currency. The privacy of business dealings is increased. Bitcoin has been hailed as an alternative to gold, suggesting that it might be effective as a hedge against inflation due to the fact that it is an unalterable store of value that cannot be printed or confiscated. Due to its inherent volatility, Bitcoin may once again experience a surge in popularity in the future. The speculative nature of Bitcoin, combined with the lack of a crystal ball, makes its future value difficult to predict. But if by chance you're given an opportunity to perhaps see the future, what do you think is the future of Bitcoin beyond these situations? Is it a positive or a negative one? Whatever it may be, let us know what you think in the comment section, and we'd be more than glad to join in. But other than that, thanks for watching. This is Data Dash, and if you find this video interesting, then might as well hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell button to stay ahead with our cryptocurrency news and updates for you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.